It's Willette with Urbex and Coasters, and behind me is the site of the old Candlestick Park. This was the Giants ballpark, and it was also the 49ers stadium. It was a shared stadium, sort of similar to how Oakland Coliseum is. Now, before I get into this video, the reason I'm here is to do Urbex around the place, but exploring a stadium in the Bay Area for an abandoned spot cannot go without saying this. Fuck John Fisher. Fuck the Giants organization for what they're doing to the A's. Because remember, the River Cats are the Giants affiliate. Now on to the video. So the first notable thing is the roads down to Candlestick, you're not allowed to drive on. But you're certainly allowed to walk on. I believe this is the site of it, in there. So up here we have some notable stuff. So we've got our old parking signs from Candlestick Park. So as we can see, it says parking lot gates 1, 2, 3, 4, and then, so I'll zoom in so that you can see it maybe. So we've got that, and of course we've also got where the arrows would be to tell you, yes, you're good to drive here, or no, don't drive here. And we are walking on a stadium path here. So, that's something to, just think about all the cars that would have been here at one time. And we're just walking on it. We've got the trees still here. And then in there is the parking lot for Candlestick Park. And as you can see, the lights, they're still in there. I'd imagine the rubble from Candlestick Park is what makes up that mound there. And look at this, we've got an abandoned pier out here. And yes, it is actually abandoned. It's not just something that I'm saying is abandoned, because you've got boards blocking it off. I am not feeling easy about that wood. You know what? Fuck it. I'll give you guys this part of the Candlestick experience. At least out as far as to where there's fire damage. I'm not gonna go out beyond that, but here's your view of the bay. Part of the Candlestick experience, everyone, to go on the Candlestick Pier. Fuck you, graffiti artists there. Fuck you. We've got more of those parking directions, of those road driving directions for which side you're allowed to, which lanes you're allowed to drive in. Because as you can see, it's 3 lanes on this side, 2 lanes on this side as for those directors. And people definitely come down here because August 25th, 2024, you know, that's after I left to go to Southern California before I came back up for a few days that this trip is for. And here is your entry into the parking lot for Gate 1 here at Candlestick Park. You know, it's amazing that all this stuff is just still here after all these years. On that side, we can see it's completely eaten away though. And we've got another set of drive directors. And look at this. The road is completely flooded out. We've got a lake in the middle of the Candlestick Park Road. Like, you see those directors for which lanes you're allowed to drive in. Well, it looks like only one lane is even able to have cars down there, and then down at the next one, none of these are drivable lanes. There's a concrete footer for something that would have been here. Probably a light of some kind. And looking across the lake, we've got to look at gate 2, and I'm gonna see if I can get to a place where I can see the other side. It's a real shame that this lake is here. You know, I'm tempted to take my shoes off because those gates are open, and then I could walk around in that parking lot some. We've also got an old transformer there. But I really don't know how much I would see in the parking lot that I haven't already seen, you know? So it's like, do I really want to trudge my way through this lake for that is the question. So I am on the dry land that's on this side of the lake, but we can see that it says, "Thank you for coming, drive safely," and it gives you directions to the 101 or the 280. Here from gate 2, completely intact. It's like, you don't see that too often where these banners are completely intact, just looking at the others. And yeah, like I said, if I wanted to walk into the site of Candlestick Park, I could do it there, but this lake, you know, it's not just that we've got still water here, it's also the fact that, you know, there could be nails in there. There could be a bunch of stuff that I don't want to be stepping on. And for what exactly? A parking lot? Looks like we've got some actual rubble from Candlestick. A lot of the artwork here at the point that looks like this. You can see that the park here, like the park that we're walking around in, was established in 1977. So it was certainly here when Candlestick Park was here, the baseball park. It was certainly here at the time. Along this pathway, we've still got some old parking spots from Candlestick. Got the lake over there. It's huge. Looking at it, can finally see the end of the lake up there. I'd imagine this dates back to the days of Candlestick Park. Looks like this has some marking on it, potentially. Oh, it's just a brand. We've got another one of those transformers here. You know, with that giant lake there, it's like, you know, I can see how sea level rise is coming for Candlestick Park. So it's like, you can see it here. So when people say that Oakland Coliseum is threatened by sea level rise, I'm more inclined to believe it, seeing something like that happened with Candlestick. But at the end of the day, here's what's still my stance on it. We need an official statement that the proposal that John Fisher and his cronies put up in 2018 for redevelopment of the site wasn't even viable. We need a confirmation of that, because here's the thing. If that proposal was not viable, it means that it was never something that they were planning to do to begin with. So, and for those of you that don't know, that proposal called to keep a portion of the lower portion of the Coliseum as an amphitheater. Oh, and we've got some cool old signage here. You can see a 49ers logo. And here was the... Oh, whoa. Shit, I tripped on that. I was focusing on the sign up here. So, please arrive at least at the stadium entry gates at least 75 minutes prior to kickoff. All these years later, you can see that the color is less faded on this side than it was on the other side. This sign is pretty cool, actually. So I actually could get inside of Candlestick Park if I wanted to, and it wouldn't require any effort, but you know, with all those no trespassing signs and it's saying K9 security, like, I mean, even though I see some graffiti in there, I imagine they take it somewhat seriously because I don't see as much as I see outside, so I'm not gonna bother with it. Not used to fresh picked wild blackberries in the winter. And here is a look at the stadium site from above. So you can see some craters where there could have been stuff at one time. There's a lot of them though, so like, I mean, I would have to look at some old pictures of Candlestick to be able to do an overlay to see what all of this was. If I had to guess, if I had to take an extreme guess, I would say that the sand area is where the field was. If I had to take an extreme guess, but then again, that's a little close to the end of things to have been that. So, you know, maybe it was that curve back there. Because, like, I imagine that whatever they dug into the ground to build the stadium is probably still there.